Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to GroLeafy. I'm Alethea, and today I have a very special guest with me. She's my friend, Babyface Nurse.
Hi, everyone.
Today we are going to talk about life lessons from the garden, and we are going to have tea at this conversation. So we are happy that you are joining in and that you are able to watch this video. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe so you can get the notifications of different videos that are coming out. But let's get going with this conversation. So our special guest today is Babyface Juna, and she is a friend of mine, and I have known you now for maybe almost 2 years. Almost 2 years now. And we actually have worked together for some time. And she has been a nurse for 4 years.
Yes.
And she is known as Babyface Nurse by her patients.
Yes.
I love the name Babyface Nurse. And she's been gardening since she was a young child.
Yeah.
And particularly with her family. And she has had a lot of memories of gardening time with her family. So I want her to tell us about gardening with her family, and we're also going to talk about just the health benefits of gardening and talk about this wonderful tea that you have prepared for us this morning.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Juna, and I was born in Nepal back in 1995, and we came to US in 2008 because we were born in a refugee camp and our whole camp caught on fire, so we had to live in a jungle for a few months, and we ended up coming to America because the UN ended up offering us to resettle in different countries.
Wow.
So after we came,
I did not know that.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like kind of rough, like our life back in Nepal.
That is very challenging.
But I'm thankful how God worked in our life and like did the impossible in our life, because I have never thought I will end up in America,
Yeah.
But after coming to America, it was like hard to adjust the life here in America. But one thing like my family always ended up doing every morning was to drink tea.
They drink tea? Okay,
Drink
and
tea.
I'm looking forward to trying this tea.
Yeah, it's like Nepali milk tea, okay?
Okay.
And in Nepal, they used to have like tea garden, and they used to get the tea leaf and grind the tea leaf and then dry it and then make homemade tea home.
Where's the sample that you have so I can show
it's right over
our
here.
viewers?
Here.
And it smells so good. How would you describe the smell? Ooh, it's great.
It's like very fragrant, full. Yeah, you can see.
I wish you all were here to try it, but take a look at that tea.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you're able to actually see it, but there's milk in there as well too, right?
Yeah, and there's some ginger in there.
Oh, I love
And there's
ginger.
some cardamom like this. It's like a seed.
How do you say
Cardamom.
Cardamom.
Yeah, and I put some sugar in there, but I didn't make it too sweet because I'm a nurse, so I need to look at my health conscious,
So I can't just dump a whole bunch of sugar in there, nurse.
No, but I suggest you can put a little bit of honey. If you
Okay,
like,
I love honey. That's what I
Substitute.
usually put. I try to make good choices.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm gonna try it. This is my first time trying it. I have not tried it yet.
Go ahead.
Oh wow. Oh, it is good.
You like
It's
that?
got flavor. It smells good.
Yeah.
It's very comforting.
Yes, this is what I drink
And I
when
taste
I'm
the ginger.
stressed.
I
You do?
taste
That's good.
one of the flavors just kind of popping out.
Oh, it became sweet. I didn't mean to make it this sweet, but
It's perfectly fine.
oh, that's good.
I like
I'm glad you like it.
the flavor that's in there. It is.
Yeah.
It's
And if
sticking
you
out,
want,
so-
you can keep this and make your husband
Thank
some
you so much.
too, because he really loved it.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He did. He got to try it first before
Yeah.
me. So, wow, that is very good. I'm going to be drinking a lot of that. So, well, I'm just so happy to have you here because we've been talking about this for a while, actually, for a few months. We've been talking about gardening and growing indoors, growing outdoors, and we both have a love for gardening, and we both talked about coming together, and so I'm just happy that we have this opportunity to do this now. So let's get into this conversation, and thank you so much for sharing your life story with us. I didn't realize that you were faced with those challenges and those stressors, and so as we talk about gardening, it'll be interesting to find out what are just the benefits to relieve stress and to improve our health, because every one of us is faced with different life circumstances, and just like you and your family have before moving here to the U.S., we're faced with a lot of life challenges. But gardening, I'm sure, is another outlet of being able to take care of yourself. So I'd love to talk about that. So you do garden, your family has been gardening, and so it's been for a long time, since your childhood.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Back in Nepal, we lived in a refugee camp, and like we live in a hut that was made up of bamboo and a thatch, but we did have some mud in the outside. And we lived in Japa, Nepal, so it was kind of like dry and humid, but we used to get a little bit of rain too, like during monsoon weather. So my dad...
Explain that, because people may not know what monsoon weather exactly is.
Monsoon weather is like the rainy season of Nepal and India. Like during those season, it rains about like every day.
Every day.
A little bit of rain, throughout the season. Every bit of rain here and there throughout the day, and that kind of like helped the crop grew and thrive.
It did.
Yes. So we used to have mango tree and some flowers.
I love mango.
Yes.
My family's like Jamaican and Trinidadian, so we're from the Caribbean islands, so mango is a part of my culture.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, mango is one of my favorite fruit.
Mine too.
And whenever like we had mango tree growing, and we had some like mangoes coming in here and there, like we had a lot of people in the refugee camp, and my friends and like some of our neighbors, we used to like throw rock at the
mangoes. You threw the rock so that they would fall down
so we could eat it. So sometimes the mango will not like grew big and then ripen up
because you guys knocked them down.
Yes. So my dad used to get mad at us. But he used to be like, if you don't take care of mango tree, you'll not be able to eat the good fruit. So you gotta be patient. So that's when I learned how to be patient.
You learned patient. Did you learn that? Did you hear that? Patience in the garden. In a previous episode with my husband, we were talking about patience. Patience in the garden. It's very important. You learn that characteristics of patience will help you to go very far in life.
That's right. Yeah. Like because of gardening, I have learned how to relieve my stress, how to be patient and calm. So like every time like I'm gardening or watering my plants, I see them grow a little bit taller like each day, and I see them blooming. I see the little like buds coming of the fruit, and it just like makes me so thankful for all my hard work and all for my parents' hard work, And it's just like amazing how God works, through our life and through the plants too,
Absolutely. So it sounds like gardening is also a form of self-care. And I know myself being a social worker and counselor, social worker first for 18, 20 years. I'll call myself a social worker for the rest of my life because it's just something that you just commit to. When you dedicate your life to the community's needs, but also counselor. And self-care is something that we talk about a lot because people, all of us in society, are faced with so much stress. And we are stressed out. There's so much going on. There are so many trauma-like symptoms and situations that are going on in people's lives. And self-care is something that we talk about a lot in my field of practice, and I'm sure in your field of practice as well, as being a nurse. And I was reading an article by WebMD, and some of the top stressors in life that people are faced with, I learned, and I'm familiar with just because of the work that I do, but is work related is at the top. Everyone has different Stress triggers. Work stress tops the list, according to surveys. 40% of U.S. workers admit to experiencing office stress, and 1/4 say work is the biggest source of stress in their lives. So work being the number one, because that's where we spend most of our time, is at work. Another few are the death of a loved one, divorce, loss of a job, increase in financial obligations, getting married. Who would have ever thought getting married would be one of the life stressors? But there is a complete shift and change in your life when you get married. Moving to a new home. And I could just think about, with COVID, how many people were displaced out of their homes or had to move, or loss of family member, finances were affected, loss of jobs, and it affected them and they had to move or move out or change. Just, we all have endured so much stress, definitely in the past couple of years. So chronic illness or even injury and emotional problems. I see this a lot, and I know you do as well. Dealing with depression and anxiety and anger and grief and guilt and low self-esteem. And I've even seen a very high increase in the work that I do related to COVID as well, and the impacts that has had on everybody. Because you used to think that, oh, stress just affects certain people, certain groups of people, or certain groups of people are affected with socio-emotional mental health type stressors. But no, COVID has affected every single person in this world. And then in addition to taking care of the elderly or sick family member, and traumatic events like disasters, violence. So I know that was a lot to throw out at you, but talking about self-care, what is self-care, like when you hear that, what does self-care mean to you? Yeah.
Me working as a nurse, I get stressed a lot too. And to be honest, I did had that stress, and I fell into depression right after I got out of nursing school and while I was working. Okay. So this was right after graduating from nursing school. I passed my NCLEX, and then I was working nights at a hospital, and I was not sleeping right. During the daytime, I could not sleep in enough, and at night I had to go to work. I was working, and the type of work environment I was in, it was a lot of stress because I was in ICU, and I faced with a lot of trauma, a lot of death, a lot of grief, and I had to deal with the family who were grieving through. So it was just a lot. And what I did at that time for me to do self-care is to I prioritize myself. Okay.
You prioritize yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
So I ended up giving my notice, 2 weeks notice in okay, to get a break.
Yes. I'm I prioritize myself, and I gave myself my 2 weeks notice. Yes. I love it.
I gave in my 2 weeks notice.
Yes.
And then I tried to relax at my home. I took shower. I tried to do my self-care and eat right and sleep well, but that didn't work. I fell into depression again because I felt guilty for leaving my job. I feel why did I become a nurse if I was to leave my first ever job? I'm not gonna find my job again. So I ended up seeking help. So I went to a psychiatrist. I took antidepressants. I ended up going to church. I ended up praying. I ended up spending time with my friends, my family, and I was able to overcome that. And then I went back to work after 2 or 3 months.
The same work. The same type of work. But
nursing, same type of nursing. I went back into hospital again. Okay. And that's the beauty of nursing and any job, because sometimes I feel people get into midlife crisis. Yes. Or maybe I guess pre-midlife crisis for me, I guess, in that situation. But I was able to overcome it. And I think what I want to tell people is, whatever you are going through in life, even though it may seem it's a really big problem and it seems like you are in a really deep dark hole at that time, you can get out of it. You just have to be patient. And it takes time, and it's okay to seek for help with other people, you know, because I was a nurse, so I kind of felt like, you know,
there's a sense of
anxious.
guilt. Well, think about this too, because as a provider myself, from the mental health standpoint, people don't look at us as if we can have stressors and that we can have those kind of health related challenges. And there's even a sense of guilt as a social worker, feeling stressed out or feeling a sense of depression or like, well, how could you? You're the expert, you know, but we are people, we are humans as well.
We go through things. We have emotions.
And another thing we're not necessarily going to get into, secondary stress, secondary trauma is when you are working hands-on with patients and clients that are experiencing trauma, and you take it on yourself. You don't try to, but the human body just has a way of taking it. And that's secondary stress. So it is so important to take care of yourself. So I'm glad that you did that, because you are in a wonderful place. I see you're in a great place. You really do take care of yourself. You do a fantastic job of taking care of other people. And you know, the choices and the things that we do, you know, we really think through it, but you made a good decision because it has impacted you in a positive way in the long run.
Looking back in my life, I kind of am thankful and grateful that happened in the beginning of my career. So like later on in the future, if something were to happen like that, I can deal through, you know, or if there's like anyone else, like any other nurses, like new grad nurses facing that kind of problems, who are my friends, I can talk to them and share my problems and what I've been through and help them out too, you know. So I kind of am thankful that happened in the beginning. I was like so embarrassed, and I kind of felt like I was not meant to be a nurse at that time. But I kind of am glad I like overcame that through like self-care, meditation, taking medicine, and praying, and gardening too.
And gardening, which that brings me to the question, which you just mentioned, just a few of them actually, is what... We are going to take a pause right here because this is the end of part 1 of this video. Make sure that you click to watch part 2 of this video as well to hear the rest of the conversation with Babyface nurse Juna. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click on the GroLeafy for notifications of more videos, and click the like button and give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video so far.